All right, so today we're cracking open a true classic, Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Now forget everything you remember from high school English class. This isn't going to be some dry plot summary. No, we're going on a deep dive, a journey right into the mind of a man completely at war with himself.
And it all starts with this one huge question. I mean, think about it. Why do people do things they know are wrong? And maybe even crazier, how do they talk themselves into believing it's okay? It's this timeless question about who we are, really.
And that question, that's exactly what Dostoevsky is digging into in this absolute masterpiece. See, it's so much more than just a story. It's a full-on investigation into guilt, into all the twisted ways we try to justify our own actions, especially when we're backed into a corner.
So let's start with that question, the one that's right at the novel's heart.
Okay, first thing you gotta understand, the actual crime, it's almost beside the point. Seriously, this is not a whodunit. Dostoevsky doesn't really care about the who. He is completely obsessed with the why. The entire novel is this brilliant, almost claustrophobic trip inside our guy's head, his thoughts, his excuses, and his slow, painful unraveling.
And that brings us right to the core of it all, the internal conflict of conscience.
So what is this conflict of conscience? Well, you can think of it as the real engine of the whole story. It's this brutal internal war. On one side, you've got the cold, calculating intellect that comes up with a justification for the act. But on the other side, you've got that gut feeling, that conscience that just screams, "This is wrong."
And this is where the title of the book really clicks into place. The real punishment? It's not a prison sentence. It's not being sent off to Siberia. No way. It's the prison of his own mind. That's the punishment. The second he commits the crime, he's trapped in this hell of paranoia, guilt, and total isolation. It is way, way more terrifying than any physical jail cell could ever be.
But right in the middle of all this darkness, Dostoevsky gives us a little glimmer of light. He introduces a symbol of faith and sacrifice, a character who shows us a completely different way to live.
And her name is Sonia. Now, Sonia is basically the moral compass of the whole book. She's a kind-hearted young woman who's been forced into the absolute worst circumstances to support her family. And yet, through all of it, she embodies this incredible faith, this sense of mercy and sacrifice. She is, in a lot of ways, the key to salvation.
And this sets up this incredible clash of ideas. I mean, look at this. On one side, you have our protagonist, completely isolated, trapped by his own arrogance and his so-called reason. And on the other, you have Sonia, who represents a totally different path, one of compassion, belief, and redemption. This right here, this is the philosophical heart of the entire book. All right, so let's get to our final section. This book is so much deeper than just a crime. What's the big takeaway from this whole intense journey? When you boil it all down, it comes to this. Crime and Punishment isn't really a novel about a crime at all. It's about the punishment we inflict on ourselves. The harshest judge we will ever face is our own conscience.
So the way out, the escape from that mental prison, it's not about being clever or outsmarting anyone. Dostoevsky's big idea is that salvation is found down a totally different road, the one Sonia walks. It's about accepting suffering, embracing humility, and finding faith in something bigger than your own intellect.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty challenging question to chew on. The novel makes this powerful argument that suffering is the path to redemption. But is it the only path? Is that really the only way we can find our way back after we've lost ourselves? Now that is something to think about.